Chess friends, FIDE Grand Swiss 2023 is currently underway, and today I am going to show you an extraordinary chess match between Magnus Carlsen and Vladimir Kramnik, where Kramnik sacrificed his queen. If you sacrifice your queen, then it may result in a losing position, but let's see queen sacrifice chess game at the level of grandmasters. Magnus started the game with e4, we have e5 knight f3 knight g6 bishop to b5, in the Ruy Lopez with the Berlin defense variation. Everything seemed to be going smoothly with black playing bishop c5, however, the game took an exciting turn when Magnus Carlsen introduced the challenging move c3. This move has a hidden trick to use the bishop on the c2 diagonal. d4 is a threat. The knight has the option to move either to the center or the kingside position after repositioning itself on f1, so both sides played castle, d6 h3 to prevent the bishop entry because the light bishop is blocked who couldn't support his knight. Knight e7 and Magnus gets the opportunity to strike in the center with d4, avoid capturing the d-pawn because, if taken, it would strengthen the center pawns after black plays knight c3, so bishop b6 bishop d3. By threatening to capture the e-pawn, Vladimir played an incredible move d5, in response white capture the e-pawn, but Magnus played alternative move knight d2. Here Vladimir has two options. He can choose to capture either the e-pawn or the d-pawn. If you take the d-pawn, then e5 will kick out the knight, knight h5 knight g5 to target the h-pawn, so g6 and we will sacrifice the knight on h7, takes and we will sacrifice the queen on h5, but you can't capture the queen, we will move back the queen and brace ourselves for the impending knight attack on the kingside. Let me go in the future variation, knight here bishop e6 and we will play the killer move bishop g5. If you dare to the queen, then after bishop f6 check, king g8 queen d2 and that's it. Checkmate is unstoppable. Chess is the only sport where you can eat all the pieces and still win, as long as you checkmate your opponent first. Back to the position, Kramnik takes the pawn on e4, we have first pieces exchange in center. You may think of playing f5 and e4 to extend the position, but it will weaken your light squares and the knight can use the e5 square very well. So after e takes d5 we have queen c2 to target the pawn, h5 a4, e takes pawn isn't allowed since white can push the a-pawn, creating difficulties for the black bishop's position while gaining open rook files is the plan. By playing b4 and then moving the bishop to b2, the dynamic bishop pair on the kingside diagonal will pose a formidable threat to black. So we have c6 rook e1 knight d5 knight takes pawn, and after couple of moves later Vladimir takes the pawn, knight back to f3 and we have b5. Here best move for Magnus is to play c4, so after takes white can create pressure to the pawn and the knight, with the d1 rook, but he played second best move knight d4. Targeting to these pawns, but black did not defend his pawn, instead he moved his bishop back. Magnus takes the advantage of capturing the pawn, queen d6 to give a critical check on h2, g3, black's bishop on b7 was like a detective, keeping a close eye on white's king. It was the bishop buddy system, ready to party on the kingside. Meanwhile Magnus tried to join the bishop pair club, but his invitation got lost in the mail, so bishop f4 to target the queen. Here best move for black is to move back his queen. So after knight b4, bishop takes f4 knight takes d5 bishop blocks, knight sacrifice on f6, bishop takes queen takes rook takes, and black could maintain the position very well, but in our actual game, we have a twist. Queen takes knight is a bad which was played in the game, bishop takes d5 supported by the rook, and how can you defend your position? Any normal human would think of saving the queen, but after takes rook to d7, the bishop will be pinned, rook c8 queen to f5, targeting to the pawn. Rook f8 and both of the rooks are under pressure, so we will add our new attack on a7, black can't defend the pawn, so after queen c6 rook takes a7, the rook is protected and bishop c5 is coming with the supporting of the queen to deflect the rook position. The position appears to be in a dead lost state, so after couple of moves later, rook e8 we will capture the pawn. Capturing the queen isn't an option, as my two connected passed pawns hold the key to victory. Chess enthusiasts, if you want to learn and play like a grandmaster, feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So back to the position, we have rook e1 check. You shouldn't capture the rook because after queen takes d5, black is threatening checkmate in two different ways, so queen e4, and after doing big exchanges, the position will be drawish. Magnus is aware that I'm creating a video about this game, so he's making a move to secure the win by playing king to h2. Now how can you defend your position? Queen b6 will not work because after takes rook takes d1, takes, rook to d7 will arrive to pin the bishop, rook c8 queen to f5, targeting to the pawn, and black has to defend his f7 pawn anyhow, and we will win the bishop for free. Chess is the only game where taking out the trash means capturing your opponent's pieces, so back to the position. Vladimir sacrificed his queen by capturing the bishop, rook takes d5, rook takes a1, rook to d1, and we have rook exchanges, and after a few moves, we've landed in a position where Magnus has a queen in exchange for a bishop and a rook. It's like trading a bicycle for a sports car. Let's see if Magnus can take this game for a joyride. So wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Bye bye, take care, see you soon.